Hey everybody, happy Sunday, March 28th, what is it, March 28th, 2021, Zazoo Plazz, Leslie Billino Plazic, Zazoo Plazz, in the rain, with the geese. I'm in the woods. I said, it's not too bad, I'll come out. We got geese. We got rain pouring down. I got my phone's in a plastic bag so it doesn't get wet. I got my handy dandy little visor here. Got my Life is Good flower t-shirt on. It's not gonna keep me from... Oh, shush. Okay, it's not going to keep me from doing my workout here on Palm Sunday. Wow. Well, at least I won't be disturbed out here, or at least I won't be interrupted. I'm a little disturbed. A couple of things. And that could be the norm these days. Are we all a little disturbed, annoyed, inflamed? We are in Aries season. Or a little perturbed, whatever your word is. Inflamed. So today, we're just getting off the Libra full moon, and I've been spending a lot of time looking through my photos all week, and then I said, all of a sudden the Libra full moon came around, and all of a sudden I was like, I just want to go shopping, it's Libra. And I've got a Libra ascendant, so it affects me big time. It's in my first house. Yeah, well, that's where the ascendant usually is. So I'm like, oh, okay. I went out and I bought a couple pairs of sneakers. That's what shoes mean to me. And I'm just sort of like, all of a sudden I'm like, looking at makeup. Like, I don't care about makeup. I never spent 2 minutes. When I was a kid, I had, this one cousin that I would hang out with who was my age, and she'd be, talking about boys and makeup, and she had the Barbies and the bust of like the Barbie head where you could like do her hair and put her makeup on. I don't know, I'm over there, like, let's go exploring in the field. Let's go, we used to go and like pick these little flowers that had like little black seeds in them. I don't know what they were, poppies or almost like, like poppy seeds. I was always the kid, if I didn't have my nose in a book, I'd be wondering about things. I'd be writing, I'd be exploring. So it's a lonely world when you're a kid like that. But I didn't want today to go by just as I was preparing to come out of here. Every week I reflect. Sometimes I read the Sunday readings. Of course, today was Palm Sunday, so it took me a little longer because it would, it's a Sunday where you'd always have to stand forever while they read the Passion. Any good Catholics out there, I'd always wear comfortable shoes on Palm Sunday because I knew I'd be standing, and then they'd have different people reading the Passion, and finally, you do the procession with the palms, and then finally you get to sit down. And I'm digressing a little bit, but you know how this goes. I'll wind around. I just wanted to make a note. My husband was born on Palm Sunday in 1967, and I had my second son on Palm Sunday. It was in April 13th. And he's going to be 18 in a couple of weeks. But I just thought it was kind of, kind of strange how, I had my son on Palm Sunday, and I remember thinking, oh my God. It was just what my mother-in-law said. She told this story where she said she was going to go and, have my husband at the hospital, and she said, I got to go to church. It's Palm Sunday. And my father-in-law said, you're not going to church. You're going to go to the hospital. You're going to have this kid. She's like, no, I'd rather go to church. So anyway, 54 years later. But my son, it was the middle of the night, decided he wanted to come early. He was scheduled to come on a Wednesday. He came on a Sunday. So I guess he didn't want to come on like tax day. It was April 15th. He wanted to come before tax day. So then the reason I'm explaining this, I wanted to pay tribute to Beverly Cleary, the children's author, who, just died this past Thursday at the age of 104. I wanted to say a little bit about her. I didn't really know much about her, but apparently she was born on April 12th. So she was an Aries, and she wrote books about children who are, kind of like I was. She wrote largely for Generation X. And I have to say that I may have read her books when I was little, but I remember Harriet the Spy, but I really don't remember reading Beverly Cleary's books. They didn't cross my radar. And maybe I read them when I was, maybe they hadn't come out yet, because I moved through so my mother said, I moved through the children's section of the library by the time I was 7, which was 1972. And I never looked back. And then I was into the adult books. So it may be that some of her books came out after I was, I had moved on. But I think, reading about her life, I found some similarities. Now she was kind of a girl like I was. She was of my mother's generation. No, she was way older than my mother's. She was almost my grandparents' generation. But she was into the, in the high school newspaper. She wasn't into the things that most girls are into. She's, the kind of girl probably went out and got dirty and climbed around in the woods in the rain, and, those are the children she spoke to. The ones who, maybe whose parents didn't understand them or didn't know. Maybe they used to say, as they used to say to me, Leslie, what are we going to do with you? Those are the kids who read her books. The kids who saw themselves in the pages of her books as she wrote about the things that I like to write about, the minutia of life. Those little things, the conversations the parents have, the things of everyday life, that we so often overlook or take for granted. Those are the things that I like to write about, right? The little coincidences, the observances of daily life, isn't that funny kind of things that filled my diaries when I was a kid. Man, I love that stuff. And it's funny. That's the other thing I think I have in common with Beverly Cleary is her books are funny. The Ramona books, the Ramona Q, and a couple of the other ones that I am aware of. they're funny, you know, and I hope kids continue to read them for generations, because what a shame to lose a voice and to stop reading someone's books just because they aren't around. You know, you can go into meditation and you can ask your question. You'll always get an answer if you know how to ask. You don't even know how to ask, you just ask, and then you get an answer in your heart.